When I heard Dame Dash that Jay wouldn't sign off on nothing, Jay wouldn't do this and Jay would that, because he couldn't let a Cameron blow up. He couldn't let an East Coast rapper like Beanie Siegel blow up.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately: Sean Carter.
You thought 50 Cent was done spilling tea? Nah, this time he's aiming straight at Jay-Z. Yeah, Sean Carter himself. The man who's been untouchable for decades. But what if I told you? The walls are closing in, feds are reportedly sniffing around, insiders are panicking, and everyone in the industry who thought they were safe might not be. Ever wondered why Jay-Z was completely absent from that Netflix documentary? Not a clip? Not a mention? Nothing? Coincidence? I don't think so. Rumors are swirling that an entire section, let's call it the Jay-Z tapes, was yanked at the last second. And 50 Cent? He fought tooth and nail to keep it in. But here's the kicker. People close to the story say those tapes could ignite a federal investigation the likes of which the hip-hop world has never seen. You heard me. The king of rap moguls. On the run? So, who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes? What secrets are buried deep in those vaults? And most importantly, how far will 50 Cent go to expose the untouchable? Strap in, because this is just the beginning. By the end of this video, you're going to see Jay-Z in a whole new, terrifying light. Are you ready to dive in? You think you know the game? Nah, you have no idea. 50 Cent isn't just dropping bars anymore, he's dropping warnings, and this one hits harder than any diss track. He's talking about Jay-Z. Yeah, the untouchable Sean Carter, the guy whose name alone makes the industry sweat. But this isn't about music. It's bigger than that. Feds reportedly taking notes. Lawyers scrambling. Insiders whispering in panic. And the people who thought they were untouchable. Turns out nobody is untouchable anymore. Let's rewind a little. Remember that Netflix documentary on 50 Cent? The one everyone was buzzing about? Everyone's face was there? Everyone's story laid bare. But Jay-Z? Gone. Not a clip. Not a photo. Not even a casual mention. Nothing. Completely scrubbed from the narrative. And before you tell me it's coincidence, listen. Multiple sources inside the industry say that Netflix literally removed an entire section at the last minute. They called it the Jay-Z tapes, and 50? He fought to keep it in. Fought like his life depended on it. Because insiders claim it wasn't just a segment. It was a can of worms, a Pandora's box. And someone powerful didn't want it opened. Now let's break down why this matters. Jay-Z and 50 Cent? They've got history. Long, messy, entangled, and full of tension. The kind of tension where every handshake, every meeting, every public appearance is calculated. People who were close to both men say they were so connected, so intertwined in business and street politics, that you couldn't separate one from the other without chaos erupting. And 50 Cent? He's never one to sit quietly when he sees injustice or leverage. Rumor has it the tapes contained insider information. Evidence of manipulation, control, and more than a few secrets that could shake the entire hip-hop world. This video of this scandal isn't even the most shocking. The shocker is the pattern. The way powerful people stay protected, how they move in concert, how they cover for one another. According to sources, Diddy and Jay-Z have a history of handling the same situations the same way. Keep the real dirt behind closed doors. Manipulate the narrative, and make sure the public sees exactly what they want you to see. And when someone threatens that system, someone like 50 Cent, the panic sets in. Insiders describe the dynamic as a careful dance of control. Jay-Z allegedly had the power to make or break careers overnight, and 50 Cent? He claims he's been watching, collecting pieces, noticing patterns, recording moves. And it's not just about money or fame. It's about influence, about setting the rules and making everyone else play by them. The very idea that someone like 50 Cent could expose even a fraction of that? It's the kind of threat that keeps people awake at night, and there's more. Leaks suggest the tapes included details about past interactions with other high-profile figures, people whose careers, reputations, and finances could be impacted if anything came to light. Allegedly, there were discussions about power plays, strategic moves to control markets, suppress rivals, and manipulate contracts. And this isn't your usual office politics. We're talking billion-dollar deals, celebrity influence, and strategic silencing. The word on the street is that 50 Cent has the receipts, the connections, and the timing to make the information public, which would send shockwaves far beyond the music industry. Now, consider the feds. There are rumors they've taken interest in the materials that were reportedly removed from the documentary. Imagine that, a streaming platform, a globally recognized celebrity, and legal authorities all intersecting over tapes that may contain explosive information. Insiders say this isn't just investigation, it's observation, it's leverage, and it's a ticking clock. Every person connected to these secrets is potentially on notice. And Jay-Z? He's allegedly aware, which explains why he's keeping a low profile, why he's suddenly quiet, and why industry insiders say he's never been more cautious. And here's where it gets even more intense. The way 50 Cent describes it, Jay-Z has been part of a system alongside other powerful figures where influence, secrecy, and intimidation are currency. People who cross paths, people who become liabilities, they either fall in line or they disappear from the picture. And while most of this is behind the curtain, hints of it leak through gossip, industry chatter, and public behavior. The evidence isn't always obvious, but patterns emerge. And the pattern here, according to insiders, is that Jay-Z has always protected himself first and everyone else second. So, why did Netflix cut the tapes? Why was Jay-Z absent while everyone else faced scrutiny? It's simple if you understand the game: power protection, damage control, keeping the untouchable untouchable. And now, with 50 Cent warning that the feds are watching, it's clear that the stakes have risen. This isn't about hype. This isn't about ratings. This is about influence, exposure, and the potential unraveling of a long-protected network, and it's all about to get real. 50 Cent isn't just talking. He's been documenting, recording, and gathering information for years. The insiders say he has investigators, people on the ground, people who know the streets and the boardrooms alike. He's positioning himself not just as a commentator, but as a disruptor, someone willing to challenge the narrative and shake the untouchables. And if history tells us anything, when 50 Cent sets his sights, he doesn't miss. But this isn't just about 50 Cent and Jay-Z. It's about the ripple effect. The industry, the fans, the public perception, all of it hangs in the balance. Once this information surfaces, it could redefine what people thought they knew about power, influence, and protection in the hip-hop world. And the clock is ticking because insiders suggest that the feds aren't just observing, they're building a case. And when the first domino falls, the rest might follow faster than anyone expects. And that's where we leave you for now. Because what comes next? That's where it gets explosive. Alleged secrets, power struggles, insider whispers, and federal interest. All pointing to one central question. If the tapes come out, who really survives? Jay-Z, 50 Cent? Or does the entire carefully constructed empire start to crumble? As we pick up, let's not forget one key thing. This isn't just gossip or rumor, it's a narrative built over decades. The alleged tapes weren't just about Jay-Z doing business. They were about influence, manipulation, and power plays so calculated, you almost have to admire the audacity. According to sources who claim they've seen this video of it, the tapes detailed private dealings, strategic moves, and the inner workings of an empire that most people only see the surface of. And 50 Cent? He's the one daring to lift the curtain. Insiders say Jay-Z has always been a master of optics. Publicly, he's untouchable, calm, and unbothered. But behind the scenes, there are whispers of control, of shutting down rivals before they even realize the game has started. And this is where 50 Cent's warnings get real. He's suggesting that the feds might be stepping in, not just to observe, but to investigate deeply. And if that's true, then the so-called untouchable might not be untouchable for much longer. Now let's talk strategy. According to insiders, Jay-Z and Diddy, Puff himself were allegedly involved in long-standing alliances, designed to protect their positions while quietly suppressing competition. Ever wonder why some East Coast rappers never got their breaks? Why a talent like Cameron or Beanie Sigel could never fully blow up? Sources claim that the combination of influence, deals, and subtle intimidation kept the East Coast market under wraps. And 50 Cent? He might have been the one to finally expose the system, leaked reports, supposedly from people close to the music industry, paint a picture of excess and secrecy. Lavish spending wasn't just for show. It was this video of influence. Private jets, luxury cars, hotel suites, and extravagant parties, every detail carefully orchestrated to impress, intimidate, and distract. One insider, speaking on the condition of anonymity, said, "They weren't just living large, they were managing perception. Every dollar, every move was strategic." And while the public saw chart-topping hits and sold-out shows behind closed doors, insiders claim there were contracts, agreements, and silencing mechanisms in place for anyone who got too close to the truth. The tension between public persona and private behavior is this video of what makes this story explosive. Imagine being a young artist, full of ambition, stepping into a world where deals are made not just with money, but with leverage, secrecy, and allegedly manipulation. Jaguar Wright, an industry insider who's spoken up before, reportedly says she witnessed the system in action, watching how power and control were maintained. And according to her, when someone tried to push boundaries or challenge authority, the consequences could be swift and brutal. Fans and the public have started to notice. Social media chatter hints at suspicion, frustration, and disbelief. People are asking, why wasn't Jay-Z mentioned? Why were others scrutinized while he remained invisible? Speculation runs wild. One commenter wrote, "It's like the documentary erased him on purpose." Another said, "If 50 Cent is hinting at something, we all need to pay attention." The tension is palpable. And that's exactly what insiders expected. Silence, absence, and subtle signals create more curiosity than 100 headlines ever could. Then there's the alleged federal angle. 50 Cent warns that authorities may be looking closely at the information he has gathered. Leaked whispers suggest that multiple departments are now taking a broader look at past dealings, agreements, and potentially suspicious activity. Think of it as layers within layers: public scrutiny, private influence, and now legal oversight. And as every insider knows, when the feds start paying attention, things escalate fast. What's protected in the music industry might not be protected under the law. And Jay-Z, despite his calm exterior, allegedly knows this. Meanwhile, the alleged tapes reportedly reveal more than just contracts and deals. They hint at control over reputations, careers, and public perception. Allegedly, there were conversations about damage control, managing scandals, and strategically removing threats. And sources say these weren't casual discussions. They were meticulous, planned, and executed with precision. One anonymous source supposedly said, "It's like chess, but with people. Every move calculated. Every pawn accounted for." And 50 Cent? He's claiming he's ready to play back the board. And what about those who were supposedly affected? Other artists, former collaborators, and insiders, according to the whispers, have been watching quietly. Some are allegedly terrified. Others are cautiously hopeful. Because if 50 Cent succeeds in exposing even this video of this, it could set off a chain reaction that affects not just Jay-Z, but everyone in his circle. Think resignations, broken deals, contracts renegotiated, reputations shattered. And the public? They're only just starting to grasp how high the stakes are. So, what does this mean for the industry? Allegedly, it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that power and influence operate in hidden ways, and that even someone as untouchable as Jay-Z may have vulnerabilities. 50 Cent is positioning himself as the disruptor, the whistleblower, the one willing to stir the pot and force transparency. And insiders say that once the first pieces come out, there's no turning back. Careers could be jeopardized, alliances tested, and the balance of power could shift overnight. And now, as we move toward the next stage, the tension escalates. The alleged evidence, the federal interest, and the looming public scrutiny all set the stage for what could be one of the most explosive revelations in music history. Imagine every secret, every suppressed story, and every whispered warning suddenly coming to light. That's the scenario 50 Cent seems to be hinting at, and the industry, for once, doesn't have a playbook, because this isn't just about music. It's about control, leverage, and exposure. It's about the intricate web that keeps people in line, and what happens when someone decides to pull the threads. Allegedly, the next moves could redefine not just careers, but entire empires. And the question everyone is waiting to see answered is, can Jay-Z survive this storm, or is the unthinkable about to happen? And now, the moment everyone's been waiting for, the fallout. Because if what 50 Cent is hinting at is true, we're talking about consequences so massive they could shake the foundations of the entire industry. Jay-Z's untouchable image? Allegedly on thin ice? According to insiders, federal investigations aren't just a possibility, they could be imminent. And when the feds start looking, it isn't about whispers anymore. It's about documents, financial trails, and people talking. Sources say there are multiple angles the authorities could explore. Contracts, internal correspondence, and even private recordings allegedly collected by 50 Cent are under scrutiny. Every alliance Jay-Z has built, every deal he's ever orchestrated, and every secret he's allegedly protected could come under the microscope. And the web extends far beyond him. Diddy, collaborators, executives, and even former artists who stayed silent may all be pulled in. This isn't just a storm. It's a full-blown hurricane, and don't underestimate the public reaction. Social media is already buzzing even before any official revelations. Fans are torn between disbelief and outrage. Jay-Z erased? What is going on? Reads one viral tweet. Another says, if 50 Cent is telling the truth, the whole music industry is corrupt. And this is before any concrete evidence has even been released. Imagine what happens when the tapes, recordings, or leaked documents surface. The narrative could shift overnight, and those once untouchable could suddenly be exposed. Then there's the financial fallout. Allegedly, if federal probes expand, it could jeopardize not just Jay-Z's personal empire, but associated ventures, to record labels, streaming partnerships, and even sponsorship deals. Investors, partners, and collaborators could start distancing themselves, creating a domino effect of economic chaos. And insiders claim that some of the biggest names in the industry are already quietly reassessing their ties, trying to figure out who might get caught in the crossfire. Legal experts, speaking hypothetically, say this could be a multi-layered investigation. Not just one lawsuit, but a series of legal challenges, civil, criminal, and corporate. Allegedly sealed settlements could be reopened. Confidential agreements might suddenly become relevant. And if 50 Cent's claims have any weight, then Jay-Z could be facing questions he never imagined. It's the classic case of the higher you climb, the harder you fall, except this fall could be televised. Meanwhile, former collaborators are reportedly preparing. Sources say some are considering statements, interviews, or even legal actions of their own. After decades of silence, some are allegedly ready to speak. And that's where the real danger comes in, when insiders start revealing patterns, cover-ups, and behind-the-scenes maneuvers. It can trigger a snowball effect. One revelation leads to another, and suddenly what seemed untouchable is exposed for the world to see. Public perception is another battlefield. Jay-Z's brand, carefully curated for decades, could be on the verge of a crisis. Allegedly, every PR move, every public appearance, and every charitable endeavor could now be scrutinized under a new lens. Fans and critics alike could reinterpret past actions, decisions, and statements in light of these revelations. Reputation, once considered unshakable, might suddenly feel fragile. And the human element? That's this video people often forget. Insiders claim that tension is running high behind closed doors. Staff, family, and associates allegedly fear what might come next. Loyalty is tested when legal pressure and public scrutiny collide. Who stays? Who flips? And who knew it all along? 50 Cent, according to sources, is positioning himself as the disruptor, The one willing to shine a light where others have kept darkness. Pop culture watchers are also pointing out one thing. This could reset the balance of power in hip-hop. East Coast rappers, once allegedly suppressed, could see opportunities to rise again. New voices could emerge. Old alliances might crumble. And if federal investigations reveal systemic manipulation, the industry could face reform, restructuring, and unprecedented transparency. In other words, what starts as a scandal could end up as a cultural reset. And then there's Jay-Z himself. Allegedly, he's aware that the stakes are higher than ever. Silence might not be an option anymore. Leverage, secrets, and relationships that once protected him may no longer hold. Every move, every decision, every word could now carry consequences. And insiders say that the tension is palpable, the calm exterior hiding a storm brewing underneath. So where does this leave us? Allegedly, at the precipice of one of the most dramatic moments in music history. Federal investigations, public scrutiny, financial fallout, and reputational damage are all hanging in the balance. And the truth? Well, according to 50 Cent, the next chapter could be explosive. The question now is simple. Will Jay-Z navigate this storm, or will history finally catch up with him? And that brings us to the critical point, the audience. You've watched this unfold, you've heard the claims, and you've seen the patterns. But what do you believe? Is this a calculated attack, a dramatic narrative, or a glimpse behind the curtain at the world of music's most powerful players? The answers aren't simple, but the questions are urgent. So now the question is, what do you think? Is Jay-Z really untouchable? Or is 50 Cent finally peeling back the curtain on an empire built on secrets, influence, and control? Could the feds actually be preparing to move? And if they do, will the entire music world shake from top to bottom? We're talking careers, deals, reputations, everything could be on the line. Everything could be on the line. And don't forget, this isn't just about Jay-Z or 50 Cent, it's about an entire system, decades of hidden power, and the people who've been watching quietly while the game unfolded. We need to hear from you. Do you believe these allegations, or is this just another dramatic saga from the world of hip-hop? Who else do you think could be implicated if investigations expand? Could this finally be the moment where the untouchables face accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comments, go deep, be bold, don't hold back. Hit that like button if you want more explosive revelations. And subscribe and turn on notifications. Because trust me, this story is just getting started. And the next update could change everything you thought you knew about Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and the empire they built.